At the bottom half of the hour, our friends at the Guam Chamber of Commerce are going to hold a gubernatorial forum. That's in Tumon Bay at the Hilton Guam Resort and Spa. And participating are the two teams that have advanced past the primary election. Of course, Governor Lulian Guerrero and her running mate Josh Tenorio, as well as former Governor Felix Camacho and his running mate Tony Ada. Joining us now from Tumon Bay is our Nestor Licanto, who is waiting with bated breath for today's much anticipated forum. Nestor, what can you tell us about the mood so far?
Micronesian ballroom?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Jason. We are here at the Hilton Hotel Micronesian Ballroom, the site of the first gubernatorial debate between incumbent Democrat Lulian Guerrero and former Governor Republican Felix Camacho. And I'm here with the president of the Guam Chamber of Commerce, which is hosting the event. You can feel the excitement building. Cathy, tell us a little bit about what the crowd here will be expecting to hear.
Right. So, we're super excited, and, we're hoping that, the candidates will talk to us about issues that are important to the private sector, including, maybe reduction of taxes, a reduction of crime. So those are some of the top of the mind things that really have been impacting businesses for, since the pandemic, right? So certainly we're looking forward to a really good dialogue today, and we're very excited.
Yeah. The Chamber has been very consistent with as you mentioned, the rollback of the business privilege tax from 5 to 4%. Why is that important to the businesses?
I think, it's important for all businesses, especially during this time, because we're, as we were going through the pandemic, we had, assistance, thank goodness, from the federal government. Now that assistance is gone, we are relying solely on what is turning around in our economy, and that is not enough. It is not enough to keep businesses open the way that we're so used to it. It's not enough to keep our people employed, and that's super, super important. We want to keep our people employed. So any type of assistance from the government, which includes lowering of fees, which includes lowering of taxes, in this, even for a year or two, just to get people back on their feet so that we can continue to grow our economy and most especially, keep our people employed. That's so important.
Having said that, what is the because the chamber is made up primarily 80% of small businesses. What is the preference of the small businessmen? Is to get continued government assistance, or for the impediments to be removed so that they can take control of the success of their businesses?
Right. So, as I said, we've been super thankful and grateful for support from our local government, from the federal government through the pandemic. But certainly it's important to have reductions for the businesses so that they can continue to stay open. We've seen this. I mean, this is not uncommon. We've seen all over the world, including the United States, where governments have, put amnesties on certain types of fees, certain types of taxes, right? We saw even for fuel taxes, right? So certainly those types of things that keeps prices low and has the ability for businesses to keep their employees and not tap into things like benefits and things like that, right? So that's really, really important, especially in this economy where everybody is struggling.
The labor situation, we've seen a lot of job fairs and businesses clamoring for employees. We've seen what appears to be an migration of folks to the U.S. mainland in search of work. How big of an issue is that for the chamber?
It's very big because, we don't have the tourism numbers, right, that we've been expecting. And that's because obviously the source markets are still closed and there's still lots of restrictions that are involved in that. But in the meantime, right, we cannot employ the same types of numbers that we have been prior to the pandemic. What can we do about that, right? Well, let's make it easy for businesses to stay open. And also, what we need to do is take care of our crime situation, take care of our homeless problem, take care of the things that we tout about being a paradise here on Guam, right? So as a community, businesses, the government, the entire community should be a part of taking care of our island.
You mentioned that tourism is coming back, but it's going to be a while.
Yes.
So a second stool, if you will, the second leg of our two-legged stool is the military. How important is it to the business community that the new administration is very supportive of the military?
Oh my goodness, Nestor. It's like super, super important. Thank goodness for the Department of Defense investment on Guam that has kept money rolling in our economy. It has just been a lifesaver for us. If we didn't have that, we would be in a worse situation than we have been. And we were just so thankful for that. We need to continue to be open to investment with the federal government. And, obviously we want to be partners in this, right? So we just want to continue that. And that's important for the next administration, certainly.
How about supply chain issues? I know that, on store shelves, there's a lot of consumers are seeing stuff not being there or coming in later. What is the situation for the chamber in terms of supply chain?
Wow, that's a difficult question. Certainly, we know that the COVID, petroleum, the war, the issues with things moving in and out of China, where most of the raw materials and products come from, right, has just been super challenging. And it will continue to be that way because of 2 years of just being kind of stagnant, right? And because of the COVID protocols that are in place. So we need to be expecting these challenges for, maybe even another year or so. So just to kind of keep that in mind and just be a little bit more patient. I know it's so hard, it's so difficult, even myself, trying to find things in the grocery store or, at any type of goods, it's super hard. So, just being as patient as we can and just be supportive with businesses. And I think, hopefully with the situation with our geopolitical climates, right? That we'll see some good things happening slowly but surely.
Yeah. And finally, what would you like to see from a new administration in terms of diversification? Because that's a buzzword that always comes up when we talk about the economy, the need to diversify.
Sure. And diversification obviously is super important, right? But with diversification, we also have to work with the legislature and the administration on what types of incentives can we bring, right, for investment to Guam, right? Doing business on Guam is expensive. Everybody understands that. Everybody knows that, right? So what can we do as a community to, have people look at Guam instead of these other countries that we compete with, right? Not only for tourism, but for inward investment. So those are some of the things that we really need to work together as a community and as with the legislature and with the administration.
All right, Cathy Castro, the president of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. We're here live at the Micronesian Ballroom of the Guam Hilton Hotel, and as you can tell, everybody's a little bit getting more excited as we await the first debate of the gubernatorial candidates, Governor Licanto Guerrero, the incumbent Democrat, and former Governor Felix Camacho, the Republican challenger. Back to you in the studio, Jason.
All right, so thanks. Nestor Licanto dutifully manning his post down there on Tumon Bay at the Hilton. Once again, it is a gubernatorial debate, so these things tend to get kind of heated. And if you saw all the litany of public sector officials in the background, it's pretty much like all hands on deck there, a who's who, to be sure, of government service. Now, if you are wondering, we are going to record today's debate for you, and we will have it on YouTube and on Facebook later on this afternoon. So make sure to check out both of our timelines. And if you're not following us yet, all you got to do is hit follow. You will be up to speed on everything that's going on with today's much anticipated, once again, the gubernatorial debate at the Hilton.